Have you got any ideas?
Is it like the thing that we did before? Like on the cross things, and it's like,
Yeah.
I forget what they were
Like
called.
that thing. Like the difference between a true bearing and a compass bearing, that thing.
Yeah.
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 So this one's a true bearing.
Right. What does it mean? Like, explain why it's 130. Like it.
So they gave you the answer 130, but based on the information given, they want you to explain how to get 130. So like they know it's 130, but how? Like what's the mathematical way to get 130 kind of thing?
Right.
And it has to do with this.
Mm.
And so firstly, I would probably draw the true bearing on. So where do you think it would go? Let me erase that.
The 230.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't. Like, can you see me?
Yeah.
Like there.
Yeah, so kind of. It would go, so it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but if it's a bearing, it's like it is an angle, yeah? But this one's of C, but it's from A. So it's like the angle of this line of C, but from A. So it would be this. Would be 230.
Right.
Because that's the angle of the line C from like the north position. And when you do a true bearing, you always measure from the north position, like that one. Do you remember doing those?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is like what I find the hardest part is like trying to figure out what they mean. If they mean like A from C or C from A, or like just where to put it. But if it's of C and then where is it from? From A. So you have to measure it from A across.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now, like based on all this information, why is theta 130? It might be a bit easier now.
I know why it is, I just like can't put it.
Don't know the words for it.
Yeah, like because it like, wait, how much does that whole thing equal 360?
Yeah, that's it. And that's
so like how would I say that sort of thing?
So if it's a 360 degrees, that's called a revolution angle. So you could say revolution angle equals 360. And then you can do like therefore 360 minus 230, which was the given bearing or whatever, equals 130 degrees. Oh. Equals theta. And you can like you could put on like the first line like bearing of C from A equals 230 given if you want to, but you don't have to. You could just draw it on. If you draw it on, then the marker can see what angle this is or where you got this from. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But essentially they're just wanting you to know that that whole thing is 360 degrees. And so if this here is only 230, then that's 130. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yes, so just remember a revolution is a full revolution. It's full 360.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know when you're good for B.
Yeah, I'm good for B.
Okay. Are you having a look at it now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Um, C.
I'm just going to write in the first part. I'm just going to draw in 18 kilometers here.
Yeah.
18 kilometers.
Is it meant to equal anything?
No, so we have to find what it equals now.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We have to calculate CB.
Does it have anything to do with theta?
Yeah. So do you remember, do you have like all your sine rules and cosine rules with you?
I know what they are. They're in my book.
Because they're the ones that are given on your reference sheet. So if you ever get like stuck with like angles and sides, I would just look at my reference sheet and be like, what can I do? Like, do I have every single side of a triangle? Because if you have every single side of a triangle, you can calculate an angle, but we don't.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I'm just getting my book.
Yeah. So we have to find a formula that calculates a side, when you have two sides and an angle.
Yeah. Okay, so would it be tan?
Well, we can't use SOHCAHTOA because it's not a right angle triangle.
Right.
So we have to use one of the cosine ones. And there's two cosine ones. There's this one, cos C equals A squared plus B squared minus C squared and 2AB. Or there's C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos. So they're your two cosine rules.
Okay. I swear I found them here. Oh yeah, here they are.
Cool. So which one of these could we use?
I know we used one of them last week. Would it be oh, I feel like I'm wrong.
Just look at this part, the start part.
Yeah. Would it be the top one?
No. Do you remember what each thing means? Do you remember what cos something means? And do you remember just what a letter means?
Not really.
If there ever is cos something out the front, like cos C or sine C or something, that's when you're calculating an angle. And if there's ever just like a letter out the front, such as C, that's when you're calculating a side.
Right.
And so in this one, we're trying to calculate CB, and CB is a side. And so we'll use this one here. Does that make sense about the cos and the C squared?
Yeah, I'm just writing it down.
Cool. So if there's a cos, sine, or tan out the front of something, that's an angle. And then if it's just a plain letter, that's a side.
Okay.
Cool. Can I erase the top one?
Yeah.
Cool.
You can erase both of them if you want.
Alright. I'll leave this one and we can sub it in. Okay. So we have two sides and we have an angle. We have one side here, A, one side there, and then an angle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. And so now we just have to sub the information that we have on our, what's it called, picture, into the formula.
Yeah.
Can't fit my cousin because 130. I just put it in white. Cause 130.
Wait, why did you do 130,
That's
right?
what theta is, yeah.
Yeah.
And we got it in part A.
Yeah.
Cool. And then just put that in your calculator. Did you get an answer? Yeah.
I put it in, but then my calculator went like the syntax error thing. I'll try.
Did you put brackets around this one?
Yeah, I got I got 2, 4, 5, 3.
Yeah. And we'll
Do
just
I put the 05?
Yeah, we'll put the 05 in there. And then what would be our next step here? Looking at this part here. Because we want to get C by itself.
All right. Will we halve it?
Yeah, well, we do the opposite of what this is. And so that's like to the power of 2. And the opposite of like a power of 2 is the square root.
Right.
And so we'll just put C, take the power of 2 over, do the opposite. So we'll put our answer into a square root bubble thing. And then therefore C equals
Did you get 49.52?
Yeah. And then it says to the nearest kilometer, so we can just say 50 kilometers.
Okay.
So that there would be your working. Cool?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's clear that. And what's the next one? 15. Okay.
Is finding the area of a triangle half times base times height, or is that wrong?
That's correct, but that's for a right angled triangle.
Okay.
If you had like a little right angle in there, that's half base times height. But this one, when you don't have a right angle, it's on your formula sheet that you get given in your HSC exam.
Yeah.
But it's this, it's half, I think it's half, yeah, half A, B, sine C. So we know that these two here, A and B, they're our sides, and our side C is an angle. So to do the area of a triangle, you have to have two sides and an angle.
Right.
And then if we look here in our picture, we've got one side, two side, and an angle. So we can do it.
So you get 5.6.
Yeah, 5.6. Cool. And if, for example, say they didn't have this 58 here, but they had they had 3 sides, you just have to use your other cosine rule, the one that has the angle out the front, to calculate an angle. And then once you've got your angle, then you can do your half AB sine C. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So
do those formulas come in the test?
So you'll have on your reference sheet, you'll have your 2 cosine rules, the cos C and then the C squared one, the ones we just did, and your area of a triangle one. I can show you. Do you want me to show you what the reference sheet would look like?
Yeah.
Okay, let's find it. What's it called? Nessa Online, I think. Does you see it? Nope. Okay. Nessa. Let's just try this. Yeah. New South Wales Education Standards. I need to go to year 12, HS exam papers, go down to math. So if you're ever doing like a practice paper, you can get your, what's it called, reference sheet and do it with your reference sheet, because then you like, I don't know, you just practice doing it.
Mm.
And it has all the things together. Okay. Here. So here's the trig part. So it's got your, the first part here. Wait, where is it? There. This part here is the SOHCAHTOA part. So it's already like got it all set out for you. Then this one's the area of the triangle one. Then this one here is your just sine rule. The one where you do like this, like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then these 2 are your cosine rules. Cosine. And so this one is for a side because it's got the C out the front, and that one there is for the angle because it's got the cos C out the front.
Okay.
And then you've also got like this is compound interest up there, and then depreciation here. And then like the perimeter and area formulas of like different stuff. So that's the only reference sheet you'll be given. So like a couple of, what is it, like maybe the year before me, they had like 4 pages or so in their reference sheet, but then they changed it to just one.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so we have a lot of less stuff. I don't know if it like makes it easier to read because it's just 1 page, or if it like makes it harder because you have less stuff, but I don't know. I'm not sure. So if you like, you can always like print out a reference sheet and then like annotate it and like assign like labels to it, so then when you're practicing you remember what each thing is, and then by the time
what I need.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
And like when you get into HSC, you'll just remember, and you'll be like, the very bottom formula on the left hand side is for an angle or whatever, or for a side. You'll just remember it. That's what one of my friends did. She just annotated it and then just remembered it.
Yeah.
All right, so we did 15. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
For this question, would we use the cos C one?
Yep. Correct. And if this one.
Can I just do like any corner for A squared?
So we want to find the angle of Q. So this here is going to be angle C, because if you have a look in our formula, we're finding cos C, which is essentially we're finding the angle C. So if this here is angle C, do you remember, I don't know if I told you or not, but if an angle is C, the opposite side to it is the side C.
Yeah.
So this here would be side C, which means
Yeah.
this here would be A or B, and it doesn't matter about the A or B. They can be changed. They can change.
Yeah.
But as long as you've got the C correct, then that's fine.
Okay.
So then you can have 53 as A or 66, doesn't matter.
Did you get negative?
0.3? Is that what you got?
How come I got a fraction?
Do you know like the little SD button?
Yeah, I pressed that, but it's like, isn't it meant to just come up with that straight away?
I don't know. Mine just sometimes changes.
Oh, okay.
2 times.
But yeah, so the negative 0.35.
Yeah. And then so that's what cos C equals. And if we're finding an angle, you have to press the shift cos. So you have to do cos -1. So if you just put 0.348 into your thing, and then therefore angle Q equals angle shift cos answer. And then did you put it into the -1 thing?
Yep.
My dog just like woke up because he heard your dog bark.
Really?
It's okay.
That's funny. I got 110.36.
Cool.
Okay.
And so the thing just to remember in that one is to do the little cos -1 thing.
Do I always have to do that?
Only when you're finding an angle. If you're ever finding an angle, you'll always have to do it. Because that's like taking like a measurement and putting it into an actual like degree. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we can erase that. And 17. Okay.
Okay, so G and H and E and H are equal.
Mm-hmm.
So do we need to find that side?
Yeah, we need to find one of them. So we need to find like everything that he passes through. And so he passes through E to F. So we don't know that. So I'm just going to label that X because we have to come back and find that. We know this one. And then we only have to find one side of this because they're both equal. Yeah. Cool.
So do we do the side one?
Which one?
The side formula?
For
the C one?
C squared one.
Yeah.
We can. C squared one. It would be correct because actually, yeah, you can. Because you know 82. So I'll write it up here. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. I think that's right. A squared plus B minus 2A. Where's C? But when you do the C squared one, it's two sides, and we've got two sides. We've got 64 and 82. But the angle has to be the included angle, which means it has to be the angle between the two lines. Does that make sense? So it has to be this angle here, because that's the only angle that is between both the lines. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so we can easily find that angle though. Because do you remember if you have two angles in a triangle, how to find the third one?
Is there like a formula?
Kind of. It's just angle sum of the triangle equals 180. So if,
right, that's what I was thinking, but it's like,
yeah.
I thought that was like too easy.
Yeah, no, that's literally it. So if you just do 139, is my mouse going to work? There we go. 139 plus 31 equals 170. Therefore, 180 minus 170 equals 10 degrees.
Can I write that in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And so then we can then do C squared equals. I wasn't going to do this one, but you can do it.
What one were you going to do?
I was just, my favorite one is just the sine one. So I was just going to go with like, what is it? This side and that angle, and then this side and that.
Yeah.
But I think
that would be easier.
I think it would be easier, but I think I can give it a go, but I think they'll come out the same way either way. Let me just quickly check. What is it? A squared. So it's 64 squared plus 82 squared. 2 times 64 times. Cos C. What was C? 10. And then yeah, it comes out pretty much the same.
Okay.
So if I was to do the sine rule, which is the crossing over ones, this one here, I would get 21.7. And then if I was to do this one here, it came out 21.9. So either way, it equals 22.
Right, okay.
But that could just be because like I I didn't like round off or something when I did it. So if I did 483 point, yeah. So it's pretty much the same. So like if you were in the exam, would you have done the c-squared one or the sine rule one?
Probably the c-squared one, but probably because I just didn't do the other one.
Yeah, no, we'll do that one. So it just equals 22. Or what was it, 21.9 or something? Okay, so therefore c-squared equals, so this is our C side, that has to be our C angle, so that's A and B there.
I got 408. Oh, wait, you did too.
Did you remember to do the square root?
No.
7, 8. Did you get the 21 something when you did this?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so now we've found like the one side. So we found C. So now we've got to find Y. So I'm just going to erase this so you can actually see. There we go.
Wait, which side did we just figure out?
We found out EF. So we found this one, and we already know this one. So now we've just got to find either GH or EF because they're both equal. So just finding one, then timesing it by 2 will give us the distance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. And so now we look at this triangle and we have to like figure out what we could possibly do. And there's like a hint with these, what are they called? Perpendicular, are they? I don't know. Whatever they are, lines. Because what type of triangle has 2 lines equal?
Right angle? What?
Like yes, but also an isosceles.
Right.
And so if it's an isosceles triangle, it means the 2 bottom angles are equal. So this theta here will be the same as this theta here. And then if we know that that's 90, we go 180 minus 90 will give us 90. So these 2 angles have to equal 90. And if they're equal, then they have to be 90 divided by 2 to give us 45 degrees. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I hope I think of this stuff during the exam.
Yeah. I think you'll be fine. If you just, like, heaps of questions I was able to answer just by looking at my reference sheet and be like, what can I do kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
do I have 2 sides and an included angle? Well, no. Do I have 3 sides? Yes. So then I use the 3-sided one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once we've got our 2 angles, what do you reckon we could do in this triangle to figure out just one side?
I keep thinking of the formula we just used, but I know that's.
Yeah. Why can't we use this one? Do you know?
Because we only have one side.
Yeah, correct. So even if like you wanted to use that one and you attempted to use it, you'd like realize that you couldn't actually do it because you only had one side. So what's
Can we?
Yeah, go.
Can we not use the sine rule one?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Because we.
Okay, because I did know where the arrow would point to, but then I remembered it doesn't have to be anything on the other side. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes. And so we can just go like this. So then we'd have what? Y over sine 45 equals 82 over sine 90. Are you cool with this part here?
Yes.
Cool. And so then, oh no, I'm gonna have to write like really small.
Phew. Sorry.
It's all good.
Do you get 57 point? Oh, did you get 58?
Yeah, 57.98 or 58. Yeah. And then we just have to add up all of those.
Add up all of what, sorry?
All of our sides that we found. So we'll add up our y and our y. Because we need to find the total distance that Raj, is that his name? Cycles. So we have our C, which was 22.
Plus 64 plus 58 plus 58.
Yeah. And then what do we get? 22 plus 64 plus 58 plus 58. 202?
Yeah.
202 kilometers. Okay. That was such a big question, but that's because it's worth 4 marks. Any questions on it?
No, I got that one. Oh my God, there's so many questions.
I know. Hopefully we'll almost probably get through this page. And maybe another.
Yeah.
Okay.
The diagram shows 2 triangles. Triangle ABC is triangled. with AB. What's the little angly? Oh, what is it?
Wait, where
Like
about?
arrow thing.
Here?
Yeah. What does that mean again?
That just means angle.
Right. Okay.
Let's see, like that just means triangle.
Yeah.
And that just means like an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The area of ACD is 30 centimeters squared.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Whoops, it says that.
And it says in there as well.
Hmm.
So if they give us like the area of a triangle, it means like they might want you to use the area of the triangle formula, but instead of having like area equals half AB sine C, they want you to put 30 equals half AB sine C. Does that make sense? If they like
Right. Okay.
use that too, that's like an indication that they kind of want you to use that formula. And so to use that formula, we know we have to have two sides, and we've got one side, so maybe we have to find another side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the only side that's common between the two triangles is AC.
Yeah. And so do we find the angle of A?
I mean, we
Or-
can. And like we can just write it in there. I don't know if we actually need to.
Right. Okay.
Because if we were given like this side, or like if we were given that side and we had to find that side X, and we were given like 15 here, then we'd need to find that angle, because then we could use the two sides and the included angle to find X, but we haven't. So if you're only given one side, what's something that you could do? Because we can't actually use any of our two cosine formulas yet, just yet. Yeah.
Right. And not the sine rule because we don't have two sides.
Well, we can use the sine rule because you only need one side for the sine rule, because you can use this and then that.
I thought we were finding the other triangle.
We are, but we need to find a side for that triangle.
Right. Okay.
And AC is the only like side that has stuff happening around it. Does that make sense? I don't even know if I'm.
Yeah.
And so if it's the only one that has stuff happening around it, does that, like, that's so stupid, but we just have to find it, because then we can use it in this triangle. So it'd be what? It'd be x over sine 62 equals. Or you don't even actually have to use the sine rule. You could, but because it's a right angled triangle, we could simply just use SOHCAHTOA.
Oh.
So you could do that, or you could just go, what do we want? We have this one, we want opposite and hypotenuse, so that's sine. Anyway, sine 62 equals opposite over hypotenuse. sine 62. I actually don't think the sine rule would work in that one.
Okay.
I'm so silly. Sorry. I just forgot it was a right angle triangle. They even tell you it's a right angle triangle. Oh, man. Okay. Sorry about that.
I don't mind.
We had the right concept. We just did the wrong formula. Okay, let me scrap that. Okay, so what do we want? We want sine 62 equals x over 13 equals sine 62 times 13. Okay, and that will give us the side that we need. Okay.
Does it need the brackets?
In the sine part,
Yeah.
yeah, it will come up like that.
Did you get 11.5?
Yeah. Okay, I feel relieved now because I just did the 13 sine 90 thing, what we had done before, the sine with the sine rule, and it does work. So if you had accidentally done the sine rule instead of the SOHCAHTOA, it still would have worked.
Okay.
Then you the same answer. Okay, cool. So either or, but probably just do SOHCAHTOA because it's probably easier. Okay, so now we know what x equals. Let me write that in, 11.5. And so now we can do this part. We can sub this part in. Hang on, my dog just wants to get out of my room. Let me just open it. Okay, here you go, buddy. Here you go. Okay. So we have a sine C here. We're going to make that sine C. And we have two sides. We have, let's just label that one A and that one B. Because this would be side C, if angle C. And then, so now we can just put it into the formula, the area of the triangle one. Because do you remember before how I said if they give you the area of the triangle, it's like a hint that they want you to use that formula?
Yeah.
So if we have 30 equals half times, what do we have? 11.5 times B times sine 40. And then you just try to get B by itself. And so you just do the opposite. So you would divide by half, divide by 11.5, and divide by sine 40. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Did you get 0.067?
No. Did you divide all at once?
Yeah.
Maybe just go like one at a time. Because I don't know how, wait, let me see. 30 divided by 0.5 divided by. Actually, it should work still. Wait, I don't know. Can you see my thing? Is this what yours look like? Wait, let me stop my share if I can see. Like that? 30, 0.5 divided by 11.5 divided by sine 40.
Yeah.
And then I got 8.11.
Wait, where'd you get? Oh, whoops. No, I made a mistake. Never mind.
Oh no, because I stopped my share, all my annotations went. Have you been writing?
It's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been writing. It's fine.
So did you end up with like 8.11 or something?
Yeah, I got 8 point. 11. Will we make it 8.12 or no?
We'll do it 8.1 because it just says correct to one decimal place. Yeah.
So B equals 8.1 centimeters?
Yeah. And then just say equals X because they officially wanted us to find X. We had just renamed X B to fit with our formula. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just put X in there, then they'll know that that's what you mean.
Okay, cool.
Lovely.
Okay. The next question's not. Well, it's probably going to be annoying, but whatever.
You do it and then we'll like confirm.
Wait, it's 28 cents an hour?
It's 28 cents per kilowatt hours.
What does that mean?
That's just like the rate it is. And so it's like for every kilowatt that is used up in an hour, it costs 0.28 cents. And so
Okay.
This question's fine. You don't really have to worry about it because this is also in kilowatts.
Yeah.
They're in the same measurements. But if it was like in watts, I think you have to divide by 1,000. I think kilowatts is 1,000. I think. But
so does it use 500 kilowatts a year?
Yeah. And so we just have to figure out the price if they were to use 500 kilowatts a year.
So do I just go 500 times 5?
Yeah, for the 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you can just do that. Either way. 500 times 5 times 0.28. Pretty sure we'll give you the same thing. Did you get 700?
I haven't pressed equals yet.
Which one did you do, sorry? And I'll just stick with you. Which one?
I was doing the top one.
Okay.
Did you get 700? Did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
do I plus that by $8.99?
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's it.
Equals 1599 per year?
No, for 5 years.
Okay.
So that's like the purchase price and then running it for 5 years.
Okay. An alcoholic drink has 5.5% alcohol by volume. What does that mean?
I think it just means like however, like these questions, when I was looking at them before, they confused me because I've never actually done one like it. So I think I know what they want. But anyway, by volume, I'm guessing this means, say you have a 375 like milliliter bottle, like that's how much volume you have. So 5.5% of that will be alcohol. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so I think the first question is just wanting you to do this.
Okay, I'm so bad with this stuff. Like when it says it contains 1.6 standard drinks, what does it like mean?
So like I don't actually know how much one standard drink is, but like there's a certain amount of alcohol that's like that will be one drink, but some like drinks will have more than that amount of alcohol in it.
Right.
This almost has 2 standard drinks in it, and you're only supposed to have like 1 standard drink an hour. So if you drank this, you would probably not drink anything else for 2 hours, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It just means like there is about like 1.6. I don't even know how to I don't even know how to describe it, but
I just like when an alcohol thing says that, I don't like. Is 1.6 standard drinks how much alcohol it has in it, or like an actual glass of a drink?
I think it's how much alcohol is in it. So in this, there's 20.625. Wait, did you get that? 20.625?
Yeah.
Yep, I think that equals 1.6 standard drinks.
Right.
I think it's easier for people to say, oh, or like track themselves by saying I have one standard drink instead of saying I have 20.3 milliliters of alcohol. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then if I have 4 standard drinks, I just have 4 standard drinks instead of having 20 point something times 4. Does that make sense? I think it's just like an easier way to keep track of where you're up to.
Mm.
And so the 1.6 standard drinks isn't necessary for A, but I think it is for B. I had to read this question a couple of times because I just wasn't sure what they meant. Because I haven't done one like this before, which was really weird.
Mm.
Like I've done ones where you use the formula, like the blood alcohol concentrate formula or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's one. There's one, isn't there? There is one.
I like. Wait, a formula?
Yeah, I can't remember. Let me see if I can find
No,
it.
there definitely is.
Okay, good. But I don't think
I've
that's
done it
what they
before.
want here.
Oh, okay.
I think. Wait, do you?
I don't get ones either.
Okay. So I think what they want is to figure out, like, in the first question, how many millimeters of alcohol they are, and then to realize that that equals 1.6 standard drinks.
Right.
And then you have to figure out how much one standard drink would be. So you do 20.625 divided by 1.6 to give you like how much is in one. Does that make sense? So then that equals 12.89. And then times it by 1 to get how much is in one standard drink.
Wouldn't it just equal the same thing?
12.89. And then so that's how much is every hour. So 12.89 what is it? Milliliters per hour. That's one standard drink. One standard drink per hour. And they want as a rate in per minute. And so they just have to divide 12.89 by 60. I'm pretty sure, to get 0.2 milliliters per minute.